which is thecosmereads.com. Let's go check out our merchandise. The winner did request that he wait until our Scostank shirt is available. So, which is fine.
Wise call. A wise call.
That's a Jedi Master right there.
Yeah. So we are working on that. I did come up with some little AI generated graphics for that. And I did, and we thought about just going with that, but we do have a graphic designer who's working on it. So I'm going to wait till she's done. And, once she's done with that design, I know it'll be fabulous. She does all her logo. She did her logo. Man. She did her logo. She's done a lot of designs for the Will Reads. If you want to check out that merchandise, she does great work. So I can't wait till she finishes the Scostank.
Got to see it.
Awesome.
So we'll have that Scostank shirt. Scostank. Yes. Yeah. Yes. And then what else? Do quick other little announcements. We did 1,000 downloads, guys.
Hey,
let's go.
Will was just like, what? Yeah, 1,000 downloads. So
nice.
1,000 times our podcast.
I can't even count that high.
Yeah, I know.
All the fingers and toes, right?
Yeah.
I don't have that many.
No, I'm talking about in your neighborhood.
Yeah. 1,000 downloads. So congrats to you guys, because that's a big compliment.
Man, that's great.
It's a lot of stank.
It's a lot of stank. It's a lot of stank.
A lot of antler bags.
And speaking of listeners and people downloading our podcast, I just want to give a shout out to one of the countries that listens to us. I know we do this from time to time, either do a state or country or talk about things like that. Austria, not Australia, but Austria. We do have listeners. We might have listeners in Australia too, but Austria. Shout out to everyone who listens to us there. We love our European listeners. Austria is a beautiful country. I've been to Vienna, or Wien, as you guys, I think it's, how do they pronounce it over there? I think it's just Wien, but Vienna.
Wien. I don't remember.
Yeah,
sorry.
Whatever. Good crystal factories. They have lots of chandeliers. It's a beautiful city. But yeah,
love the Edelweiss. That's all I care about.
Edelweiss, yeah. Love the flowers.
Glad you guys are here.
Glad you guys are here. Exactly.
Glad everybody's here.
Yeah, glad everyone's here. Yeah.
Appreciate all of you. Yes.
Appreciate all of you, but shout out to them for this episode. This episode is brought to you by them. It could be brought to you by NordVPN. They're still sponsoring us. So
nice.
I didn't put the link in there, but it's on our website. So go check it out. NordVPN. I don't have the banner up and ready. So it's we could do the whole NordVPN. This episode.
There you go. They do good things. They protect you.
They do. And I actually had a friend of mine use our affiliate link, and he was super excited about it because he does a lot of crypto buying and selling, and I guess he was trying to buy through one group that was banned in the United States. But with a VPN, you can still do it. Not saying you should do illegal stuff, but that's why he used our crypto, our link. That's not our fault that he used our link, by the way. Because it's cheap. Like he said, it was $88 for 2 years.
Oh, that's really good. Jeez.
That's really good.
That is 2 years really, really good.
$88. Yeah.
Whoa. That's a deal.
That's our deal going on right now, guys. That's a good deal for VPN. So, yeah. Plus it protects you. I mean, I run a VPN, so it's good stuff.
I mean, that's $3.50 a month, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy cheap.
That's cheap.
That is crazy cheap. Good for them, man. Wow, what a deal.
Yeah. Go check it out. Links are on the website. I might link it to the actual podcast. So yeah, go check out NordVPN. It's good stuff. Personal life. As far as what's going on right now, I have been drinking all day long, so I apologize in advance for any slurriness that happens. I'm still drinking.
Day drinking.
Yeah, well,
that's a full ass glass. Is that whiskey? Straight up.
I wish.
Boom. Man, this episode is brought to you by Bowman Brothers.
Nice.
Virginia whiskey.
If that's a full glass of whiskey, man.
I mixed it with that much ginger ale.
Oh, okay. Got you.
A splash of ginger ale.
My glass brought to you by my wife's gift to me, which is Glenfiddich single malt, finished in I believe it's sherry casks.
Ooh, I was gonna say port.
Sherry casks. And of course, she got it from me because my favorite colors are lavender and purple, which this is. You can't quite tell the colors on this, but
Pythos
it's a
loses
gorgeous container. So
because you don't mix that. Pythos just loses.
Yeah. No. This is neat.
This is neat. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, Pythos.
Yeah, no. Bowman Brothers you can mix. I got it's actually the small batch. They had it on special, so I bought it.
Very good.
I don't mind. I don't mind. It's Bowman Brothers. It's okay for Virginia whiskey. Or Virginia bourbon.
You could do much worse.
They call it a Virginia bourbon, which always confuses me. It's like because bourbon's a region in Kentucky, and it's like Champagne. Like technically, if it's not from Champagne, France, it's a sparkling wine. Just like bourbon, technically, if it's not from Bourbon, Kentucky, it's it's a whiskey.
I think and it's the same thing with tequila and mezcal in Mexico. You know, if it's from certain regions, it's tequila. If it's not, it's mezcal. Thanks to my wife, she taught me all that. So
sure, yeah, good deal. Yeah, but my wife's out of town, so I got all 3 kids, but they're all asleep, which means that I'm drinking for the podcast tonight. Well, and I've been hanging out with the other dads that were abandoned by their wives. So what do dads do when they have kids? We drink.
Day drink and buy Teslas. There you go.
Yeah. Apparently. Went to the aquarium this morning, though. That was kind of cool.
That's right. You guys are going to the Virginia aquarium, right?
Yeah, with the Virginia aquarium. It's always fun. I mean, I've been a bunch of times, but with the kids. But it was fun going with the group. But, 3 dads and 8 kids is a lot.
Yep.
And 8 kids between the ages of 1 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised one kicked out or to lose a child. But we managed. We came with 8. We left with 8. Same kids. So success.
Did the aquarium survive?
That's right.
What'd you say?
It's like a tornado.
He said that the aquariums survive.
There's a policy we're not supposed to bring food in. Trying not to feed that many kids for that long is impossible. So we brought we smuggled goldfish in. There might have been a room that a kid threw goldfish everywhere in a high traffic area, and there might be goldfish dust all over the floor in the aquarium. But that's what happens when you have the same kid's impressive. Exactly, Iris. Yeah. It came with 8 kids and all dads too. Yeah. It left with 8 kids, same kids. Nice. Yeah. It's impressive.
I can understand why they make those backpacks that have the leash on there for the kids, kids try to run away. You just yank them back.
No, we had kids run away at some point, and we're like, they'll come back, right?
Yeah.
They'll come back, right?
Yeah.
We'll just guard the exits. We'll just guard the exits, so we should be good, right? Just let them loose.
Kids like to roam, but it's a very concentric type of roam. They run to a certain point, and then it's like if they lose sight of you, they panic, and so they immediately turn around and come back.
They also run in groups, so it makes it easier to find them.
Oh, that's right. They amoeba.
Yeah,
they just like stay together. Right?
Yeah. I mean, they're kind of separated by ages, but so you get the younger ones that run off and do their own thing, but the older kids, like the 5-year-olds, they all kind of sing together and from the swing group. So it's easy.
Which is why they're terrible at soccer. They won't spread out. They just stay in a little group, Yeah,
we have fun now. It was a good day. Good day.
Good.
Anything new with you guys? Anything new, exciting before we jump in?
Not really. I hosted a game night for my teams last night, and it was and I did a trivia. They didn't know what the game was going to be. I did trivia is all animation, and every round was a different decade. So it started in the 2010s, and then it moved back all the way back to the 1950s.
Okay. So I'm going to say anime, but if you're 1950s, it's just animation.
No anime. It was just animated TV shows and movies from America. So not Japanese. So no Silverhawk. Nothing international.
No Voltron.
No. Well, Voltron, of course, would have counted because that actually was a Japanese cartoon that was bought and then, subtitled, and they actually redid some of the stories, and so it actually is kind of an American creation because it wasn't actually. Man, that story's great. There's a YouTube video. If I can find the link, I'll put it in the chat. There's a YouTube video that goes into the whole crazy story. They wanted this other Japanese cartoon, which actually it was a robot that had a lion in the chest, and they got the wrong one, and it was the Voltron cartoon that had the 5 lions that joined to make a robot.
Right.
And they were like, "Oh, we'll work with it."
Yeah,
So-
let's do that one.
yeah. It's a very interesting story. So yeah.
I'm sure that sounds.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember watching Voltron as a kid. So
Oh, Voltron is the ish now. I mean, the fact it's now a business term, where it's like if you get like 5 departments or multiple departments together, and they like actually like accomplish something together, they basically say, "Oh yeah, we just Voltroned this." That's literally a business term now. That's how mainstream Voltron is. So yeah,
Voltron's amazing.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was a Silverhawk culture is mainstream culture.
I was
now.
a Silverhawk kid, so that was my.
Oh, the Silverhawks! Forgot about them. That's right.
Yeah, everybody sleeps on it. It was good stuff.
It was good. Yeah.
Yeah. Will's just like, I am too young. I'm lost. What you're talking about?
Oh no!
Yeah, you guys are showing your age to me right now.
Oh man, that's right.
Oh yeah, you're showing our age.
Oh,
You guys don't
yeah.
understand 80s cartoons and how craptastic and beautiful they were.
Oh yeah.
So
They were all
back and
clustered,
do
but-
some
they
research.
don't age well, but I went back
No.
and watched some of them. Yeah, they don't
no,
age well.
none
at
of
all.
them age well. GI Joe, Transformers, kind of okay, but
Kind
you know,
of,
yeah.
kind
But
of.
a lot of them do not age well.
No, you go back and watch it, like, why did I watch this crap?
Yeah, it's like was I on dope? What the hell?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. All right, chapter 32.
Yeah.
Will, anything for you before you jump in?
Yeah, Will, what's up with you?
Nothing crazy. Had a little dinner with some family last night,
Okay.
and
Nice.
I went to a diaper shower today.
Are you having a kid?
Our friends are having a kid.
Okay.
So
You're gonna
you
need to back
buy-
that up for just a second. It's called a diaper. It's not a baby shower. It's a diaper shower.
Yeah, it's a new thing. So it's
Well,
kind
that's-
of
the
like you have
dudes
a
do
baby
that.
shower, and then the diaper shower is just the dudes. So like
Yeah,
a bunch of
that's
us
a dude.
put up.
So all the
This
girls can
is
go to
so
the baby.
neat.
No, I've been to
God.
one of those
Okay.
before.
Well, it's
like,
kind of genius because it's like you need diapers. Diapers aren't cheap. You get your boys to, you invite your boys to play some golf and bring some diapers.
diaper.
And,
This is
and just
brilliant.
Get drunk.
yeah. Only problem
Okay.
was, instead of just giving him the box, I opened it up and was like throwing them up like dollar bills.
That happens.
Not really.
Oh,
I was like, it's a shower, right?
well, see, my youngest is 21, so I mean, I'm far
Diapers
removed
are,
from the scene right now. So I got
Yeah.
nothing. Right.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that are having kids, so that's where we're at.
Oh,
right
in a few years, Alonda, me and you will have our own diaper shop for us.
Right. Please help me out.
As we become old men.
now. That's
I'm
literally
having
where you need a
issues.
shower.
Yes.
Right.
Because your diaper ain't working.
Uh-huh.
Fun times.
Oh Lord.
All right, chapter 32. Let's jump into this. All right.
Yes.
All right. So we start and so where we leave off last time, there was, I'm trying to remember. The nobles are attacking each other. So chapter 31 ends. We have Voltron diapers though. Oh.
That's Lord Venture explains that he was part of the assassination planning on his own son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
And then
Yeah, that's where we left off.
And
last
then,
time.
what's her name? What's her name? Flippity Gibbet. She, basically breaks it out that she's like actually been smart the whole time. She's like been playing everybody.
Lady Cliss.
Yeah, Cliss.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
she was like playing everybody, and she's like, "You got to pay me."
So this chapter begins with them kind of spying, trying to figure out what's going on. 2 streets over, there's a tall building. Vin jumps to the top, startles Spook. And the nobles are all attacking each other. So they're just kind of up there in the building and watching all this chaos happen. And Spook, turns to Vin and says, the Lord Lulu is not trying to stop this. It's almost like he wants the noble war to continue on.
Mm-hmm.
And Vince is like, yeah. And Vince just thinking about how many holes there are in the plan. We had this whole plan go out, and there's, the whole idea is get the Noble War to happen. The Noble War is going on now. I mean, it's in full force.
swing. Yeah, because nobles are being taken out.
Nobles are being taken out. Houses are falling, and they're just kind of sitting back watching. And and Vin thinks like, there's just too many holes in this. This is not going to work. Yeah, 3 houses have fallen already. Several are pretty bad off.
Right.
Things are pretty bad. But then also thinks how much, just alone, how much they've accomplished as ska. Like, here are ska that are worthless to every nobleman out there, literally expendable, worthless people. And look how far they've come. I mean, in centuries, has this much ever happened? Like, even if they fail, they've accomplished more than anyone ever has.
Right. It's all about changing the mindset. This is doable, possibly. Maybe not in their lifetime, but in some lifetime, it's doable.
Yeah. Maybe not taking out the Lord Ruler, but at least putting a dent in society.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thoughts on this? On the Noble Wars? Do you think this plan's actually working out?
They're like speculating how many noble men and women have died. They said probably hundreds. And they're like, you're saying maybe it's not possible to overthrow the ruler, but they're like, we have at least shifted things in the nobility, and because of that, the government's going to change. The leadership and the ruler, the rule is going to change. So
do you think the Lord Ruler's going to give it up?
Major shifts.
You think the
Do I
Lord
think
Ruler's
the Lord
going
Ruler's
to
going to give it up? No. But he's going to have to. He is going to have to recalculate his plan, because he uses all the noble houses for certain things, and now they're just complete disarray. So, I mean, he's supported by them. He depends on them. So he's now going to be under a ton of, just he was comfortable.
Yeah,
he had things running like a well-oiled machine, and now they've come in and caused all this chaos, and he's going to be distracted and not happy.
Yeah,
stressed out. So
I'm gonna give counterpoint to that and say that when I'm reading this, I didn't really feel like the Lord Ruler was going to be shook in any way, shape, or form. I feel like Vin is optimistic, but the Lord Ruler's been there 1,000 years. And now I understand that people are like, oh, well, no rebellions ever happened like this, but nobody's got the records to actually prove whether or not a rebellion like this had ever occurred. So to me, I was like, I feel like the Lord Ruler is probably like, I'm getting a lot of Matrix vibes in this, of course I was referring earlier, we were talking about Switch and, not like this and all that. I'm getting Matrix vibes where it's like, Neo comes up and it's like, oh, this Matrix has gotten rebooted times and blah, blah. And it's like, but the people who were like over all of that are like, they know the history and they're like, oh yeah, we've actually had the one come through like 7 times and, that kind of thing. And so I feel like for the Lord Ruler, he's probably like, if you live long enough, you've seen the patterns emerge.
This is all beneath him.
Yeah. He's like, oh no, another rebellion. Must be a Tuesday, for him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
But that's my thoughts. I mean, again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that's what I was thinking the whole time.
I love it, dude. The way that you think about it, I'm just like, dude, that is totally possible. I just, didn't get there.
Yeah. And that's okay.
I love it. Love it.
And then Vin tells Spook she still loves Ellen and says, it's not you, it's me.
It's not every guy loves to hear that. They love it.
It's not you, it's me.
Right.
He's like,
ladies, we have never been heartbroken by that ever. Never been heartbroken by that statement ever. No. You're crying. I'm not crying.
Spook's response is, yeah, I knew I never had a chance. And then he's like talking about burning 10. He's like, I see things. I've seen a lot of things. I've seen too many things. It's like, like, okay.
Yeah.
Poor Spook.
But he immediately shows his value talking about how to use it effectively.
And Vin asked him. Yeah, he's like, how do you? He's got trained on everything else, and no one's ever trained him on specialties of 10 because it's just 10.
Right.
I think, and that's the problem with Kel. Kel's very, very like, he sees certain things as like a benefit, and other things is just like, it's there. Like the way he shrugs off gold, for example, as it's not useful.
Right.
Or bronze, it's not useful. And I think Tins of is the same thing. Like, there's no reason to dig into this. Whereas Vin's like, tell me, how what's special like you could do about 10.
Right.
And Spook says it's not about what you can see, it's about what you don't see.
Right.
And well, he says it's street slang, and she's like, "Can you say that normally, please?"
Because I keep forgetting that he talks that weird way until every time he talks, I'm like, "Oh, that's right."
Wasn't.
Wuzzing with the heart on.
Yeah,
with the salute your shorts.
but what he says is like what's important is what you can ignore, not what you can see, but what you can block out.
Yeah,
and focus on.
Interesting for like us in everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
So much noise in life and work. Learning to just focus on what's important and what matters.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
Even furthermore, to go to the mental health thing. I mean, I'm diagnosed with ADHD. I mean, I have it, and the ability to focus on one thing when you have a lot of stuff going on is next to impossible.
Yeah.
Also talk about like someone that suffers is the wrong word. Someone that has autism would have something similar to this, where it's really, really tough to well, maybe it's the exact opposite, where they focus too much on one thing.
Yeah.
Whereas ADHD, you have overload of all things happening at once. Like you start noticing everything. It's hard to focus on any one thing because it starts to overload you. But yeah.
And of course, comes back to help her later, when things go down in the next chapter. So
yeah. And I love this next trope because Vin's scared Spook, and then Kelsier scares them. Like it's the next,
yeah.
Kelsier shows up, like they're startled.
Right, and he was like, "Yeah, I guess we need to come up with like a system or something so I don't like freak you out when I like just pop up here or whatever." Yeah. I'm like, "What are you gonna do? Ring a bell? Come on!"
Yeah. But they're going to meet Marsh. That's the reason he tells them, hey, Vin, we're going to go meet Marsh.
Right.
We have a new meeting location. This is what's going on. And Kelsier has this little. Vin also thinks about Kliss and thinks that it's good we bought her silence. Which, if you know anything about a gossiper or informant, that's not worth anything.
And it sounded like it was very expensive based on the way it was like said. I was like, oh man, it seems like they had to pay her a pretty penny to
until the next person pays them more. And then your silence is invalid.
The idea of paying off an informant so that way they don't talk is about the equivalent of like trying to like, I don't know, scrub like freaking algae off the side of your house. It's gonna come back. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, somebody that's going to talk, they're going to talk again.
It's like learn your lesson and stop talking to that person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they've got the information.
Are
we about to get to that.
We're going to get that.
I got notes.
Someone just in chat said poor Marsh. That's
yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Anyway.
I know you're getting ready to get to the part about Marsh. Okay, because I mean I wanted to talk about the fact they go into the that spot with all the ska.
Oh, the ska stank is strong there.
The ska stank is strong there.
The ska stank
I sense your stank is strong.
Vin starts to gag because of how strong the ska stank is. I mean,
and it took her a moment to recognize that that's what her life was.
Yeah.
And she has gotten so separated from it that she had to remind herself. She's like, I used to live like this. I
was disgusting.
This was my life. And, it's like everything else. It's like sometimes, people forget where they came from. And I mean, that's real life. I mean, it happens. You just kind of, once you get into like a certain level, you just start forgetting about like the people that you grew up with, the hood you came from. And it's like, but she's like had to be reintroduced to it. And she's like looking at it with like this, like, upturned kind of like nose, like, oh my gosh, it smells in here and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh my gosh, this was my life.
Yeah.
Humility, humble moment.
Humbling moment.
Oh,
absolutely. Yeah.
100%. What do you think about the way the ska treat Kelsier? I mean, he walks in, they call him Lord of the Mist. They're all in awe of Kelsier. They're like, Kelsier's here. Oh my God, Kelsier's here. Like almost
the parents like literally start like bringing their kids forward.
Babies,
like,
so they can
witness this guy's
meet
presence.
right.
Yeah.
He's like like a godly figure, or like he is like a symbol of hope to them. I mean, among other things, like they idolize him.
Right.
I have thought they were about to get ready to genuflect, like go down on the one knee and be like, "Oh man, Lord Kelser," because they have so much reverence for him. And they talked about the fact that the room was dark because it's lit by embers. By the way, I'm trying to get my head wrapped around that. The room is lit by embers. I was like, then the room is not lit. But anyway, they said even in embers they could see the scars on his arms. And I mean, that just carries all kinds of weight because it's like everybody knows he's a survivor of Halfson. That's just the territory.
Yeah.
And they just have respect for that because
no
one comes back from there.
And I was worshiping him. Like,
absolutely.
Vince is a little taken back by it. He has mixed feelings about this whole thing, about Kel being brought on this pedestal. Like, what do you think Kel's plan is with all? I mean, do you think this is Kel's plan, or is this what Kel's trying to do? Is he trying to like basically become this, or like what do you guys think?
So I saw Kate's comment says Aunt Kel takes care of them and actually takes the time to know them, which kind of brought up a question that I had when I was reading it. Is like, a couple chapters back when Vin snaps on Kel and is like, you don't know what it's like to be sitting in an alleyway looking at the person next to you, considering killing them just for the crust of their bread. You don't know what it's like to be a ska. And at that moment I noticed Kel really was like, okay, you know what, I need to have a little bit more respect for these people instead of like just overthrowing the Lord Ruler. I can't forget the why. Is like these people are really suffering. So bringing it back to where we are now is my question of, do we know that, maybe I missed this, has he always been making these little visits with the ska and like going in and doing that? Or
I feel like he's been doing that from the beginning of the book.
Yeah.
Because remember, right after when he killed the first a nobleman at the very beginning of the book, he was like he was telegraphing to the old man that he was talking to, and he was like, "Hey, I got you."
Yeah.
And he was like, and they were like worried about like what's gonna happen, so on and so forth. And he's like, "I got you, don't worry about it." He went in because remember they took the girl, and all that went down. He basically just like leveled that whole place. Then he comes back and he's like, "Don't worry, I got y'all. Come with me."
Yep.
So on and so forth. I feel like he's been setting up this pattern every place he goes to get their loyalty and to get them, because he's trying to just build up their confidence in the idea of rebellion.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they have numbers. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, in any type of oppressed people, usually what happens is it's a small, basically oppressing the larger population. Right. So they have the numbers. All they have to do is just get motivated enough to overthrow, and the only way to do that is get in the minds.
And they control what they see, and having someone come in like Kel, can really be impactful. All right, my bad.
No, not your bad. Because I mean, the thing is though, if you don't connect the two things, it's easy to forget that's.
Yeah, I forgot about that because like I feel like we hadn't seen him like have a ska visit in a while.
Yeah,
exactly. But the thing is too that I found interesting about this whole interaction is it really, when you see this the second time, when I'm thinking about the beginning of the book, it happened and then it happens again here. It really brings into perspective these soothing centers are super effective because they just, every time he's interacting with them, they seem like they're just always like, like, we're just so meek and blah, blah, blah. And you realize it's really not just like a trait of the people. It's also these soothing centers, which I think it's 23 or whatever it was in this city.
Yeah.
That are constantly basically creating a cloud of oppression, emotional oppression constantly. And I mean, imagine that. It's like, I mean, I know we get depressed if it's like, too many cloudy skies in a row. Imagine what it would be like if there's like this oppressive force just coming in all the time, like you're worth nothing. You should just submit. Blah blah blah.
It'd be like a media, like mass media, like just reporting bad news all the time to you, and not to say parallels to.
Oh no, that doesn't happen here.
Well, dude, what do you think 5G is? I mean, come on.
Oh no. Here we go. Get the tinfoil.
What do you think about the attempted distraction about aliens is? Like, hey, there's aliens. Yeah, I don't care.
Yep.
They don't think we already knew this. If there was, who cares? Either they're lying or it's always been there. Either way, I don't care.
Yeah.
The best one I saw was like someone was like, Hollywood ... like there's aliens, mass hysteria, wild parties, like craziness, reality, aliens ... meh.
Yep. What would be hilarious though is like if aliens landed here and we didn't pay attention because they were the size of like, I don't know, army ants. You'd be like, oh, okay, aliens landed. I squashed one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, and Kel shares the fact that House Hastings has fallen. And the people get super scared about that. Like, who's going to feed us now? And Kel's like, don't worry, I got you. You. I'll feed you. We'll send you a shipment. We're fine. I mean, this is Kel reinforcing, like, he's the man. Like, you don't need an old man. You have me. And that's what he's telling the Scott here.
Right.
In one way or another. Yeah.
Yep.
So Kelsey and Vin move on to the meeting spot. The building's empty. So they decide to go up and they find that one room that has a light on. So they work their way up there, open the door, and Kelsier freezes. And all he says is, he whispers no. And then Vince sees the blood. And yeah.
Dude.
Open the door, and there's Marsha's corpse, completely destroyed.
Dismembered, beheaded, the whole deal. And then said she was like, she's like, I didn't even know a body had that much blood in it.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn. That's I mean, to see that kind of violence though.
Yeah.
And Marsh was like a good dude. I mean, I was, wondering how he was able to get so much good information without somebody, being sus on him. Yeah. But obviously he wasn't nearly as careful as he thought he was. I mean, he was careful,
right?
But he got caught. Oh my gosh! But I hated the fact that he died. I'll be honest with you.
I read that you said dismembered, beheaded, and it said the word flayed. And when I heard that word, I was like, what is that? That's not good. And I just looked it up. Literally skinned.
Taking the skin off of the flesh. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That comes up a lot in Game of Thrones about the flayed men, and that's what they did to their prisoners and stuff. The whole thing is just.
It was like, what?
Yeah. That's exactly that was my reaction. I was like, damn it, not Marsh. Man, that was a rough one. That was really rough because I mean, Marsh was already kind of hesitant coming in to the whole thing in the first place, right? He kind of had to get coerced by his brother, and the altruistic nature of the plan. Then he comes in, he does his work, and he's doing amazing work. He's the one that figured out the soothing centers. He's the one, getting all the intel and stuff. And then for him to be taken out, and then, of course they have to transition and think about, wait a minute, he went through all this, getting flayed, dismembered, all this. He gave up the goods. He gave up the goods. He had to have, right? I mean, no one could have been through something like that and not have said something,
Yeah. And at this point, Vin's like, Kel, we need to leave now. Like, this is new. This is fresh. The Inquisitors are close by. Like, we got to get out of here. Like, we can't stay here. They could come back at any moment. This is not where we want to be. And Kel's almost hesitant. And finally, agrees, and they go through the window rather than going down. Probably a good idea.
Yeah,
But Finn snatches the table leg that had the note on it before jumping out the window to escape maybe an Inquisitor being close by.
Yep.
And then we end this section before we switch to Doxson, which is just a few moments later. So anything from all this before we go over to Doxson?
I didn't have anything about
Marsh.
Yeah. Again, I was just pissed. I mean,
pissed. Yeah. So switch to Doxson. He's looking over Marsh's note that was left in the leg. Not much about how Inquisitors are created, but we do learn that they're far more loyal to the Lord Ruler than the Obligators are. And Marsh is also fearful that the Inquisitors might be onto him, according to the note.
Yeah.
And Kelser's over there just fuming and finally just interrupts his Doxson. It's just like, all right, tell Renault to pull out. We're done here. Just tell him to get out of Elise. Get everyone out. The layers at this point's probably been compromised. If they did anything like they would to any other ska gang, they Marsh knew everything. So, everyone needs to evacuate. We have a backup layer that Marsh didn't even know about, that only him and Clubs knew about. We're gonna go to that place. And I got some stuff to take care of. I'm like, what are you gonna do? And it's like, this was personal. We're gonna hit him where it hurts. And Kel and Kel goes off on his own. Which is just a little snippet, a little short, 2-paragraph breakaway, but thoughts about this. I mean, it's definitely dire. I mean, everything's kind of screwed at this point, because if the Inquisitors did get information out of Marsh, everything's screwed.
Yeah, at that point in time, I would have
Marsh
left there immediately. Yeah. Immediately, I'd have been like, because he was like, made it seem like, correct me if I'm wrong. He's like, everybody needs to like leave, like Renew needs to leave in like tomorrow or something like that.
He needs to pull
I'm
out.
like, no, not tomorrow. Like right now.
Right now.
Like immediately, like send the pigeons. Whatever you gotta do, the crows, whoever, get the notification. Be like, you need to get the hell out of Dodge immediately.
I'm noticing like there's like quick shifts, like the shift from Kelsier being in the Ska, stronghold or whatever you want to call it, that he was just in, and he's pumping the people up, like walking out of there, like he's got to feel a little bit of like, all right, that felt good, and then immediately they go and his brother is just
dead,
torn to shreds.
Yeah.
And then the bigger juxtaposition from there is Marsh, who is now dead, created such a pivotal moment by gaining all that intel from the Inquisitors and the Ministry on where their soothing stations are. Like, that was huge. When I read that, I was like, dude, this is so big. This is so big for the team to have that information.
Yes.
And now he's dead. And that happened in like, I don't know what, like 6, 7, 8 chapters.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, big win for, Kel and team. And it's like all ripped away. Yeah. It's like, dude, Sanderson, stop.
Right. I mean, the army getting wiped out.
Army getting wiped out, Marsh getting wiped out. I mean, it's like every time they seem like they're like
domino falling.
Yeah, their plan's working, and then
it's rough.
And then, like Alondo said, with the Lord Ruler, like 1,000 years, it's just another Neo rising up. Like, it's almost like they're on to every step. Every step they take, they're a step further ahead, right? Mm-hmm. Like they know. So it's like they just shut it down. It's like,
right.
Damn. Yeah, it's tough.
It is real rough. I mean, and like you said though, I was kind of waiting for it because I feel like there's a pattern that's happening in the book where it's like right towards the end of a part, some issues about to happen. A major injury, major epiphany, something. And so I was waiting for something to go down. I was waiting for a different death. But when it was Marsh, I was like, damn it, not Marsh. But yeah, great information came out of it. And then I'm thinking to myself, Kelsier's already super cavalier. What is this guy gonna do? I mean,
yeah.
And by the way, he kind of glossed over the fact that like him and Vin had the conversation, and he was like, "Yeah, I think that you brought some really good information to light to me about Mare, because I never
Oh,
really
yeah,
was
yeah.
behind the idea that Mare betrayed him. I really
Mhm.
could never get on that bandwagon because it didn't make any sense. Because if she had, she'd be alive and in a position of power or something like that. She would have been rewarded for that, and it
Mhm.
just never quite settled in my mind. Sorry to take us back, but I just want to make sure I just
Yeah,
said
yeah.
something about
It was in
that.
my notes, and I
Okay.
was completely that's
Oh, okay,
important. Yeah.
good deal. Yeah. So, but that part just it never really quite settled with me. So, I mean, Kelsier's coming to grips with a lot of things right now. His wife, who he thought betrayed him, didn't, but that she was killed, needlessly, not
Mhm.
of her own doing, needlessly killed.
Mhm.
Then, you've had other deaths that have occurred. You're talking about other people who've been affiliated with
Sure.
the crew.
His brother.
And then you have his brother getting killed. And you got to imagine what this got to do to this man's psyche. At this point in time, you have to imagine this man is broken.
Yeah.
I mean, how could he get any lower? I mean, what more can you take from this man?
Yeah.
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 I feel for him.
Yeah. So after all this, I got a question. Wait, who do you think would die if not Marsh?
Is
I
that
don't know that, sir.
Tulando?
Oh, well, we're gonna get to that.
Okay. Yeah.
'Cause I made some predictions a while ago.
Yeah. So we switched to Wayland, who's just some random Scot who's working the hits of Path's End because he's been, arrested for something. We don't know, but he's
Good change of perspective, by the way. He's a
Yeah.
completely different
just
set of eyes. I was like,
random
who's
person.
this guy?
Yeah.
Yep.
Who's this guy?
Who
It's
are
some
you?
guy- yeah. and
Yep.
it's some random guy that's just named Wayland.
Just
and
feeling around the caverns, just going
it's-
down in
it's
the
dark
earth.
down.
A W name.
Yeah, and we have to dig deeper and deeper and deeper into the caverns.
Yep.
And he finally gets up to where he's looking for and finds the crystals, and they're really sharp, and you have to reach through them and cut your arms in the process to pull out the little geode, and that's where ATM is. And basically, you learn about what happens in the path. It gives a little glimpse of what's happening in the pits of hell.
Oh, and it's beautifully written. It is beautifully written because it's
Yeah.
like he gives you just enough information, like little nuggets of information. You figure out that he's down there. He's going really far down
Mhm.
to try to get something, so that way he can survive another 7 days. Because he keeps
Because if
saying
he comes
that
up
over and over
empty-handed,
again.
if he comes up empty-handed, he gets killed.
If he gets,
I got claustrophobia just reading.
oh my
that.
god,
Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And I
my
suffer from
God,
claustrophobia, and I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Like the twists and turns, tight
So-
caverns. Like
Oh,
I've been
man.
caving
So-
before. I'm like, nah. Why did
Yeah.
I do that?
And this guy, and by the way, walking over bodies and bones
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
other
Because
people
other
who
people
have
that
gotten killed.
Or didn't make it back
Died.
up.
Real
going
motivating.
down the- oh,
Yeah,
man.
it didn't make it back up. So if you come up empty-handed, you're killed. So like
Oh,
the only way you
and
can
then
survive.
he finds it and then worried about getting killed on the way up because someone else might try
might
to kill him.
Yeah.
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 Beautifully written passage. I'm sorry, everything about it is
So
just
this is-
beautifully written. Yeah.
This is what Kelsier was dealing with when he was in the pits before he
Mhm.
snapped and became an Elementor, before he became Mistborn. This is what the Pits of Hathsin's like. I mean, so you're
insane.
for the worst prisoners, you're sent there and you're told every day you have to go down and you have to bring up ATM. If you don't come up empty-handed, you're killed. And then you have the whole problem where there's lazy people who will sit there and just hunt and wait for people that are willing to go down there and then kill you
Right.
to take your ATM so they survive.
Mhm.
And so
Stab,
there's
stab. Hey, look what I got.
yeah.
That's how that works.
I mean, so that's how this prison works.
Yep.
It takes like the Batman I Was Born in Darkness, like that pit, and this exponentially makes it
Oh,
10
yeah.
times worse.
Good call.
wife's
Good call.
favorite
Yes. Yes.
Like, I was born in the Pits of Hathsin. It's bad down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your wife said I would have died day one.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
Oh.
I don't see her doing well in some little caves like that.
Tara, not a spelunker, is what we're
Yeah,
learning.
not a spelunker,
Right?
no.
Me neither.
Not
She
you.
also loves that.
Yeah, me
that
neither
I was
too.
born in the darkness quote because she likes to sleep late and in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so shout out.
Man.
Love you.
It also explains how Kelsier got all the scratches and scars on his arms.
It made so much sense. I mean,
Yeah,
with all that
Yeah.
stuff.
finally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So pits has Smith. So as he's going up, he sees a man above him, and he's like, "Oh crap! Someone's gonna steal stuff from him."
Yeah.
And no, the man doesn't. Man still helps him up and says, "All right, time for you to go." And Kel gives him, says, "Keep the geo for yourself. That's worth a ton of money. Plenty to survive on." And he's like, "Who are you?" He goes, "I'm the survivor, just like you."
Yeah. And he tells him, he's like, "Oh, don't worry about the guards. They all slaughtered.
They all killed. I killed them all. Like, let's go.
Got them all."
So Waylon runs off, and it's Kel because he's returned to the pits. Because he learned a little secret. The reason why they don't ever send Allomancers down the pits, if Allomancers used near the geodes, they explode and they destroy them.
Explode. That's
so no more ATM.
And I kept wondering, like, why do they have to use Scott? That never quite made sense with me. The whole book, I was like, I don't understand why they send Scott in there. Wouldn't it be more efficient to send somebody in there who's got allomancy, who can just go and I mean, use their 10 and break some stuff up and blah 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 blah. Nope, can't use it.
You can't do it.
Which, of course, harvesting the most powerful metal, you can only have the most weak people do it.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Which is a fun juxtaposition. That's a great juxtaposition.
That's a great point. I love it. Love it, man.
It should be really easy, but no, you got to get the Scott to go in there and get it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just have a Kelsier or a Ven go in there and grab it because they need it.
Yeah.
No, you gotta subdue some really weak person to go get it for you.
And you have to put them through a ton of injuries. It has to be a prisoner because no one's going to do this. Yeah,
just
willingly.
It's a horrible.
Yeah.
Going
down for what I'm assuming could be miles of depth that you might be going down, because this is years they have been going down into this cavern.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this didn't just start yesterday. So that means they've been digging and channeling and doing all that stuff for
Yeah. But using elementary near it destroys the geo or towards the crystals, which for the geodes. So basically, Kelsier realizes that in one fell swoop he can destroy all the ATM production for the next hundreds of years. Yeah. Insane. Then we get into the next chapter, but so he goes down there and starts using Allomancy and just starts wrecking shit.
And I'll be honest,
you're gonna hit me where it hurts. I'm gonna hit you right back where it hurts.
I thought for sure that the way it was setting up, I thought it was foreshadowing the fact that he was gonna go down there and just grab it all for himself. Pokemon, gotta get them all. But nope, he went the other direction, which of course is much more effective because, of course, as it comes up next chapter, it disrupts everything. Economy, their ability to fight, predict, all that kind of stuff. So again, I went a whole different direction in my head, and then he did what he did. And I was like, that's I
love the way Sanderson writes, just because it's just poetically beautiful to me, at least. That some people don't like it. I love it. It's just
it's great writing. Great writing.
I mean, it would be easy to go in and grab a bunch of it and do the power grab. Oh, I have a ton of ATM. No, he thinks big picture. What should I do here? That's when you think about it, that's a huge decision.
Yeah,
you could grab all that ATM and then go try to fight. You probably won't win, or you could really knock their legs out from underneath of them and just blast the whole thing.
Yeah, but that's somebody thinking about the whole instead of the one.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, because grabbing all of it for yourself is thinking about yourself and you using it versus him thinking about how can I impact everything for everybody for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
That's the way to work it, and that's again, that was just a smart play all around.
Yeah. So that's how we end this chapter. So, any final thoughts before we move to chapter 33?
I think brilliantly written.
Yeah.
It was cool how it went from Kel being like, all right, guys, get Renault out. My brother just died. This isn't cool. We're gonna get back at him. And then it shifts to that, what is his name, Wayland or whatever?
Wayland, yeah.
And it's like, wait, who the hell is this guy crawling through the caverns? And then it's like, oh wait, we're gonna shift back. This is Kelsier pulling him out, coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was a cool shift right there.
Great.
It was, exactly.
Chapter 33.
So we're back with Vin, and she's asking the crew, is it over? And Ham's like, it seems to be. It's we're done. Like, Kelsier called for Ready to pull out. Bree's not happy about the new quarters that they're in, this new layer.
New basement, basically.
Yeah, new basement. And Bree suggested they disperse, like that. Maybe it's time that we all move on. We'll find new jobs. It's done. And Doxson, they're reminiscing. Doxson said, well, maybe it was still worth it, even though we didn't get any treasure, we didn't get paid for this job. Like, it was still worth it in the end. And they all kind of agree with that. Like, yeah, I mean, it was worth it. Like, yeah, we didn't get paid. I mean, that was they're all these criminals that expect to get paid on jobs, and
right.
The job's over. They didn't get paid, but at the end of the day, they did something that no one's ever done, and they can live with that. And as they're kind of breaking up, figuring out this is the end, Kelb comes back, pewter dragging, super, tired, and Ham immediately is like, "Where were you, Kel?" And it's like, and Kel tells him, "It's like at the pits of Hathen. I destroyed it all, like destroyed all the ATM." And he explains how ATM's made is like, there's these crystals that form, and over centuries it takes these crystal structures to form, and then they form geodes inside of them, and then inside the geode is ATM. But it takes centuries for these crystals to actually start producing ATM. So basically, effectively, he's cut off all ATM production for the next 300 years.
Yeah.
Next 3 centuries. Yeah.
It's also so interesting how powerful ATM is, but how easy it is for an Allomancer to go in there and just wipe it out.
Yeah. Well, the ATM itself doesn't get destroyed from that, but the way it's produced gets destroyed. So yeah. Well, once it's already produced, it's produced, but like these crystals are really fragile. So it's produced by this really super fragile structure, and you destroy the structure. It's like, I almost like equate it to coral reefs. Like, coral reefs are extremely fragile, but take hundreds of years to grow. But like, you touching a coral reef can destroy a coral reef. I mean, they're very, very, very fragile things, but they take hundreds of years to grow.
Right.
And they produce so much life. So much life revolves around the coral reefs. But that's what my analogy was when I first read this, was the coral, because same type of thing. The Great Barrier Reef took thousands of years to grow, but literally it's super fragile. Like,
and for how many years were people just like diving around that stuff and just playing around with it and cutting pieces off and bringing it home and sitting on their desk like, look at me, I got part of the Great Barrier Reef on my desk. It's
so interesting, like in different countries, like, so like, I mean, reefs are protected here in America. And in Australia, they're protected too. But like, I spent a lot of time in Indonesia where they're still not protected. And literally, it broke my heart. But we anchored off of an island in Indonesia, and our anchor line got wrapped around a coral head. And we're trying to go down there and dive down there to like carefully get it off. And the locals came by to help us out. And they end up ripping the coral head off, like in our chain out. And I'm like,
no,
like, broke my heart. I was like, what are you doing? They didn't care. Like, the locals were like, oh yeah, whatever. Like, ripped the chain off. I was like,
yeah, but I mean, but it doesn't produce ATM. Like, it doesn't produce ATM.
Oh no,
future moves. So like, what's the big deal?
That's right. It's like, Will's like, have you read Sanderson? Because I mean, that's not how that works.
Yeah, who cares?
In the grand scheme of things, I mean, like in the whole Cosmere.
Yeah, it's about Cosmere. It's about coral. But to me, I was so heartbroken though when they ripped that coral to shreds, because I was like, it took hundreds of years to grow.
They didn't understand.
The locals now, they're tribal people. They didn't care.
Wow.
But yeah, just very. So yeah, Kel goes back and says, "All right."
Some environmentalism going on here too now.
Yeah, I know. But Kel comes back. Like I said, he tells his story. Then he says, "All right, you got some planning to do because we got some new stuffs." And like the crew's like, "Yeah, we're thinking about pulling out. Like, what do you mean more planning?" And like, I was like, "We just begun. What do you mean? Like, we're not done here. Like,
yeah,
we ain't over." And Vince's like, "What?" the whole crew's just like, okay. And we switched to the next day. I mean, we end with that, with the crew like kind of protesting, and Kel saying, no, we're still going.
By the way, I'm gonna go ahead and say right now, because I had a note about this. Breeze is the king of one-liners. Everything he throws out one-liners like who's the guy that did Henny Youngman? If anybody who's ever watched the Goodfellas knows, there's this scene where it's like they bring in the table and stuff. But he's in the Copacabana, and Henny Youngman's up there. He's like, "Take my wife, please," that kind of stuff. He's like, "There's always one-liners." That's Breeze. Breeze is the king of one-liners. He's so witty. Love him every time. So I see why you're like.
I love Breeze. I love Breeze.
He's the ish. He's the ish.
So I always ask, like, who's your favorite crew member besides Vin and Kel, and why is it Breeze?
That's right. That's right. You sure do. You do.
And why is it Breeze?
So why is it Breeze though? Why, Alan? Like, why do you love Breeze so much? Can we answer that right
just
now?
Just his ability.
Just say the swagger. It's the swagger.
It's the swag.
It's got to be the swagger.
It's the swagger. He's that Frank Sinatra character in the Rat Pack.
Yeah,
and that's what he is. He's the cool
Rat Pack kind of vibe, right?
Just cool, collected. Just always has his one-liners, but at the same time, like. Just my dear child, go pour a glass of wine for me.
Yeah, but I mean, he's soothing people. He's like influencing people to do that.
100%.
But he's good at it, though. I mean, when I say he's good, he's like this level good. He's like up there good. So,
do you think people like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin had that kind of influence just because of their like notoriety over people to do that? Just
sure. Anyone with fame has a certain amount.
Those guys, Dean Martin, for example, was like really self-effacing. He was like always like, oh, I'm just like this drunk idiot, blah blah blah. Funny enough, the guy didn't drink. Every time you saw him, that whole persona he put out, he was like, oh, I'm just a babbling idiot. He wasn't even drinking. Half the time it was like, I think I read it was like iced tea and stuff like that. But that was like the persona he put out because he just put people at ease around him. It's like, hey, laugh at me, pay attention to me, listen to me sing, because he was a great singer. And it just made people like him even more.
That's like soothing in its own sense.
Exactly. And they would banter between each other and make fun of each other. And it made the audience feel like they were part of the banter. Like you're just one. Hey, all of you guys out there, you're one of us. You're part of the Rat Pack. And I feel like that banter is what made them so likable.
Yeah. And to me, I've always I might not like people that do this, but I've always respected people that have that, call it swagger, call it game, whatever you want to call it. Like just you got to respect it. Like just that they have that ability to,
that it factor.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I know you've met people like this in your life. I mean, I have several people that I've met, and I might not buy into as much as some other people around them do, but I've always just respected their ability to do that. And there's a way of doing it in a way that you're not an asshole. And I think Breeze, he borderlines does that, and I respect it, like because he skirts that line where he's not.
Yeah, he does tiptoe that line.
He tiptoes the line, and I respect it. Like,
the
people that are complete assholes about it don't like the people that tiptoe that line. Yeah, it makes them fun to be around. I don't know. I just always like that. Personal perspective.
Okay. Love it.
Good Again, stuff. It took me a while to get on board, but I see where you came from, Alan. I got there eventually.
Yeah.
I can't help but think, but like he gains that just strictly because he's influencing people. But I guess I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but remember,
it's a combination of both.
Remember, Will, that he said when he was training Vin that he's really careful about when he uses it, though. It's like it's not like he like uses it all the time, because he was even saying something about you don't have to use it all the time. He's like, because everybody does it.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact way he said it, but it was something he's like everybody soothes people by telling them the things they want to hear and blah blah blah.
He says like it's in our natural instinct as human beings.
There it is. That's it.
Soothe people.
Yeah,
like
you got it. That's the phrase.
When you're a baby and you cry, you're soothing your parents to let them know you did something.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
So we switch to
Love
the
it.
next day. It's Vin, and she's talking to Sazed about Kel's plan and what it might be. And Sazed's like, I don't know what his plan is at this point. And then she switches to the 11th metal. She's like, yeah, so all this stuff about the 11th metal and this whole legend around the metal. You know all these legends. You're a keeper. Like, tell me more about these legends. And Sazed's like, there are no legends. She's like, what do you mean? He goes, well, Kel told me the legend. It sounded really good, so I assumed it was correct. Like, so this is all coming from Kel.
Oh man.
Like,
he's like, the knowledge of the 11th metal is a possibility. The legend.
Yeah, the legend, but the legend itself, the whole legend around it, Sazed had no idea what. There's like until Kel told me about it, I never heard of it.
And the fact that Sazed has got knowledge beyond knowledge and has no idea about this, I was like, oh no. Oh no.
This is
oh no. I was like, this whole thing is basically just a smoke screen. Are you kidding me right now? That's literally what I thought in my head. I was like, this 11th metal is a smoke screen right now.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was like, no. And then I was like, I'm right. I literally thought right here, I was like, I'm right. I know how things are gonna go down.
Yep. And then here's someone coming, and it's one of the crew members just telling everybody, saying, hey, people are gathering in the square because of more executions. And Kel comes in, says he intends to watch, and it says, and they're all like, why do you insist on watching these things? And he goes, well, it's partially my fault. They're pissed off about the ATM stuff. Like, I did this. It's my fault. Like, at least I can do is go stand and be a man about it because people are dying because of me. Like, for me just to hide in the corner as people die because of what I did, like, at least I can do is go watch. I'm not going to give myself up because I got bigger things to do, but in respect to what's happening.
Right.
So the crew decides to go. And Vin hears, the horses and carts, and they go to the roof and they look down, and and Ham turns to Kel and says, that's what he's thinking. And Kel's like actually thinking at this point, he's like, I think I can stop him. Like, and they're trying to talk him out of it. Like, this is not good. And as they're looking using the 10 eyes, whether it's Vin and Kel at this point are looking because Spook's not with them. They say like, wow, these prisoners are really well dressed. Well dressed with Scott. And then they realize Spook's in one of the carts. And then they see Renault. And they're like, this is not just a random group. This is our people in the carts.
Dum. Jeez. That was rough. I mean, when he said Renault was in the cart, I was like, oh no. Because we know how Kel's going to react to that.
Oh, and Kel goes in full panic mode. He's like, all right, we're going to go save him. Like, no, you can't. Like, there's literally you can't save him.
It's Admiral Akbar. It's a trap. Come on now. It's a trap.
It's obvious a trap. And Vin's trying to talk him out. Like, you can't save them. And Kel's like, you can't stop me this time.
Ooh.
And just takes off running. Like, yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out the question that Zul asked. It just like blew my brain right now.
So if the legend is a Kel smokescreen,
if I put it up on the screen. If the legend of Kelsier smokescreen, then what is that medal that Kelsier has?
So right now, I feel like he's trying to do the equivalent of, the 11th medal is hope or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, I haven't seen enough evidence of what it is, and he hasn't done anything to try to educate anybody else about what it can accomplish. So I feel like it is an intangible, and that's just the way I'm going to leave it in my mind. It's an intangible. I think it might have been, and I know it sounds corny, but I'm like, I feel like for him, the 11th medal is like hope or like ambition or something like that. Because if he was able to find, ATM and all that kind of stuff, and then, know about all the other medals, and then he's trying to bring up this 11th metal that no one else knows about. It's like, well, how did he, by some divine intervention, come across this knowledge that nobody else understands or has any awareness of? So that's my feeling about it.
Yeah.
I could be proven wrong, but right now it's hard for me to think that there actually is an 11th metal other than, again, some intangible passion or something like that.
I have to give my wife a shout out, because like the fact that he's just been keeping the plan itself so secretive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's like, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Kelsier runs off in one direction. Ham turns and runs in a completely different direction. Vince just standing there like dumbfounded, like, what the hell's going on? Like, you guys are retarded. Like, this is obviously not good. Like, what was good? She's just like kind of like stuck, like in place. Breeze runs off to go starts to soothe the soldiers around them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Kel it switches to Kel's point of view. He just downs some vials and just jumps into the center of all the soldiers, and this does a flare push, and just all the soldiers just go flying every single direction. Yeah, rips the carriage door open. You know, the first carriage. It turns around, and there is an Inquisitor just standing there waiting for her. Next thing you know, hundreds of soldiers are coming down the alleyways. It's obviously a trap. Yeah, insert Admiral Akbar.
It's a trap.
Look out! It's a trap.
It's a trap. There's haze killers as well. You know, and Vin just keeps on thinking, like, Kelly, you need to get out of there. You need to get out of there. It's not good. And yeah, this is not good for good. Yeah, not looking good. And then Inquisitor, you know, first thing he asks, where's the girl?
Yeah, they are like on about getting themselves some Vin. Mm-hmm. It comes up every time. It's like, where's she at?
I don't care about you. You're nothing to me. Where's Vin?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So
thoughts? Why are the Inquisitors so obsessed with Vin? Yeah, Kelsey or Chessie, you're on camera. Well, my dog wants to be part of the podcast.
Hey,
Chessie.
Yeah, puppy. Okay.
Do they know that? Do they know who her dad is? They don't.
That's the reason why I think they're after her, is because I think that Papa knows that who she is, and I think Papa's got more powers than has been relayed so far, and they have an assumption that she's probably got some amazing skills as well, or potential. I'll say potential.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thinking right now.
Yeah,
because I mean, otherwise, she's probably something beyond a regular Mistborn, and that means that, you know, they're like, okay, we need to get you on our side.
There you go. We've had a special.
Yeah, right. But the thing is, though, too,
I know it.
And the thing is, but if Kel knew that Vin was as special as she is, I think he would have told her about the 11th metal, knowing that if she's that special, she'd be able to do something with it, which is the reason why I really feel like the 11th metal is like a MacGuffin.
Okay. Yeah. So the battle begins with the Inquisitor, and it is an epic battle.
Jesus is good. It's real good.
This is some good. This is some class action writing. I mean, class A action writing. This is top tier action. The battle with the Inquisitor. I mean, just the way they're going back and forth, and like just using
that metal flying back and forth is crazy. Though it's
the detail they go into, like the push, the pull, the soldiers, the breastplates, the cage, the bars, like.
And Kel is like keeping track of like all these metal bits flying around so much, because he's got a grasp of exactly what he's doing, and the Inquisitor is like on the back heel the whole time, trying to just like deflect, and stuff goes over his head and whatever. And but Kel's
like, such an epic display. Like, I think Vin says it internally, like this is what Kel is good at,
which is why he trained her
pushing
on
and
that.
pulling metals. Yes. Like
he's on
he
another
goes
level.
Full badass. Like he flares so hard, and like it says, like he literally screams because he's flaring so hard, like multiple times.
Yeah.
He's like Kamehameha, like whatever you want to call it, like
Kamehameha.
He drinks like 3 different vials, I think. In this
that was a bunch of vials. Tons of metals.
And then, of course, and he's still doing the ATM thing, so he's still seeing numerous versions.
Oh my god, he sees. There's hundreds of soldiers, and he's seeing all of them too.
It's crazy. I'm like,
you
how
imagine?
the hell?
He just ate like an entire pound of shrooms and just is going crazy. He's seen everything. All right,
shrooms. That's man. If only we could put that on a shirt. A pound of shrooms.
I can't pull over any farther.
I can't pull over any farther.
He's seen everything. He's seen things that aren't even there. Like he's just.
Man. Thank you for the reference on that. Thanks, Will. Appreciate that.
Broken lizard all day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He sees Ham leading a group of soldiers down. To join in and trying to free.
That was good too, because you saw Ham leave. And you wonder, it's like, wait, where the hell are you running away? What's going on? And then all of a sudden he comes in, army, and I'm like, okay.
So this point, Kel's just trying to distract the Inquisitor as Ham can like free as many prisoners as possible.
Right.
Vin tries to join the fight, but Doxson stops her. Breeze, of course, is soothing all the soldiers, trying to get them not to join the fight. Like, hey, listen, there's a Mistborn and an Inquisitor fighting. Like, it's not hard to soothe their emotions. Like, stay away. Like,
and that's right. And then she helps in.
Fear.
She helps, like, she gets on like one knee and she's like, let me do my thing to try to help. Soothe things and whatever. Yep.
Yeah. And then, of course, our good old boy Ellen just shows up, calling for blood. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
I just picture a bunch of people fighting, just utter chaos. And Ellen's like, just kind of like, oh, let me find my people. Where's Villette? Where's Villette?
Where's Villette? And then he sees Renault in the cage. Like, I demand to know why Renault is caged here. Like, I am a nobleman.
Jeez, this is the equivalent of one of those like dandy boys being dressed in a sailor's outfit with a wooden sword coming in and being like, I'm gonna fight too. And I'm like, no, dude, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. There's like grown folks doing stuff over here. You go read a book, my guy, please.
And the Inquisitor realizes he can't get to Kel because Kel's moving too fast, pushing away too fast. He can't really get to him. So then the Inquisitor turns to a different tactic and starts just taking out random ska. And it's like, here, you're gonna fight me? I'll just start killing all these random people until you fight me.
What kind of axe is it? It's
obsidian.
Obsidian, thank you.
Obsidian axe. It just
which probably is gorgeous, by the way, because obsidian's just a pretty freaking like stone.
Rock. It's really pretty.
Isn't it like a black?
It's volcanic glass.
Yeah, it's volcanic, man. It's got
shiny
that
black.
It's got to be a gorgeous. I'm sure there's probably
How badass is that?
Oh, dude, it's got to be like something you want to hang on the wall, kind of nice.
Yeah. I had.
He has two of them.
Piece of.
Yeah, he has two. Yeah.
Oh, just dual wielding that shit. I had a piece of snowflake obsidian at one point. I don't know where it is now, but it's just like this shiny black rock. But the snowflake was like little white bits, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Later on in the section.
Yeah. But finally, at the end of this chapter, Kel turns to the Inquisitor and is like, all right, fine, let's do it. Then, like, pretty much like, let's go. Me and you will fight. Quit killing soldiers. Quit killing random ska. We'll fight. Yeah. Standard and good point, Zul. Standard bad guy tactic. Start killing random innocent people. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's very tropish, but yes, it's a standard bad guy tactic.
It's effective.
But it's effective, yeah. I mean, if someone that has empathy, any shred of empathy, like that's how you get to them. Start killing innocents. Like, yeah. Anyway, so that's how we end this chapter before we start chapter 34 as we resume the fight.
interesting place to switch from one chapter to the next.
Yeah, it is.
I was like, mid-battle? Okay.
Mid-battle? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we take off where we left off. So any thoughts from all of this before we move to chapter 34? The final chapter for tonight.
No.
Things are heating up.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So chapter 34, chaos is everywhere. I mean, the square is panicking. There's Ska running everywhere, screaming. The soldiers are all standing around, and Kel and the Inquisitor are just going at it. He burns ATM, and so does the Inquisitor. And obviously they both have ample supply. So
right,
this is just going to they find another way because it's not going to work this way.
Mm-hmm.
He takes a random soldier and throws it at the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor then picks up the entire cage and throws it at Kel. And Kel does this crazy Matrix move where he jumps into the cage and then pushes away all the different sides of the metal to like anchor himself as the cage smashes against the wall to like be okay.
He looks over at the Inquisitor. The Inquisitor's like, nice move.
Yeah, but just an epic battle. I mean, yeah, it's just. And the archers start firing at Kel, and then Kel uses uses the bars and starts elementically flipping them to make them like basically a shield around them. Like
right.
I just envisioned like a wall of these bars, like they all lined up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then Kel starts pushing and pulling on each end, so they just start spinning. Mm-hmm. So they turn into like shields.
Yeah, that's basically.
And they shoot the arrows, and the arrows just get deflected.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That was sick.
It was epic. Yeah.
Like, for lack of a better term, that was sick.
Yeah. No. You nailed it. You nailed it. It's sick. It's that good. Yeah.
So the way he wrote it, I was like, I see what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh, it's very descriptive. I love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then all this is happening, only Renault's cart's the only one left. Ham gets there, opens the cart. Renault steps out, and Ellen grabs him, asking, "Where's Vin?" immediately.
Oh, Ellen, please stop. This guy. Where's my girl?
As he's asking Renault, grabbing Renault, the Inquisitor shows up behind behind Renault and buries one of the axes into Renault's back.
Flick him. I'm like, oh no.
Right down the spine. And Renault collapses to the ground. And Kel actually saves Ellen and just thinks to his head, is like, you better be happy, Vin. I just saved an element.
Yeah, because he's like, well, she does love him. He kind of resigns himself to the idea of saving this guy.
Yeah, and he actually senses that the Inquisitor is actually scared at this point. Like, he actually gets a feeling that the Inquisitor actually scared. Sends Ellen away, says, you fool boy, just get out of here. Like, don't worry about Vin right now, or Vinland, or whatever you want to call her. Just get out of here.
By the way, it took me until today to realize. I was trying to remember what I think an Inquisitor is in my head. It's like it's from another series, and it took me forever. And today it finally came to me. A Dementor from Harry Potter.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking about. It's like this shadowy figure that's got the the nails through the eyes and the whole deal. And it's referred to as kind of like a creature, not a person.
Our Myrtle from Wheel of Time, the eyeless.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
Yep. I could go with that too.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So the Inquisitor.
By the way, and real quick, I was gonna say as well, when Renault got the axe in the back, I was like, okay, we don't quite know what type of thing he is. So I didn't know if he was gonna be like, I'm gonna recover from this and I'll be all right, or if it was gonna be like he's dead.
I love this comment. At least he's not monologuing.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The reason why is it's the trope I hate the most in any series. I hate that trope where like you're in the middle of battle and you stop to like have a full conversation about that. It's the. I know every writer uses this trope. I hate it so much.
Let me tell you all my plans.
Yeah.
This is what I have been planning.
Let me stop fighting and tell you. Like.
Oh my god! I'm like, I'd rather hear a Girl Scout cookie recipe. Please stop talking.
Do not monologue. But yeah, so sends Ellen away. The Inquisitor's pinned at this point, but breaks free. And gives Renault a look as he collapses. Kel gives Renault a look, and Renault collapses.
Mm-hmm.
Like Renault's just standing with the axe in his back, and then Kel kind of almost winks,
and then he just
like he collapses. And then we switch to Vin.
That was interesting, like because they keep saying Renault, and then he gets stabbed in the back, and they go to Condra.
Yeah,
so
they do.
Like he got stabbed. Now all of a sudden he's a Condra again.
The Contra,
right?
Yeah,
right. And I think this is when
This is when
Vin finds out that he's a Condra, right?
I think around yeah.
I feel like this is when she hears that he is
in this chapter, I think. But yeah.
I feel pretty confident that that's when it comes up, that she finds out because she's like surprised by the statement.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It collapses, and then they, Kelsier yells out, "Renault's dead!" Kind of some rally cry, to his crew and everything like that. It switches back to Vin, who thinks she thought she saw Ellen for a second, and then she sees Renault down. The prisoners are all free. The Scholar are actually crowded in the area versus fleeing, and Kel and the Inquisitor are still just going at it. And this is where Vince is amazed by what Kel's doing. Just like he actually starts. Level. Yeah, Kel starts to actually get the upper hand in the fight. And he gets to the Inquisitor and asks the Inquisitor, if he killed Marsh. And pounds the spikes of his head back into the wood of the cart.
Wait, they used a great term before this. The maelstrom. The tornado vortex.
Yeah, all the
metals.
Stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
And the Inquisitor's just like, I can't. I'm getting overwhelmed. He overwhelms him with just the swirl of metals going around him.
Yeah.
It's like the true display of like.
And it's too much for him to handle. It's like, even though he can do his best.
Yeah.
All he can do
is burning atium, right?
So right. Burning atium. Yeah.
Can he see like future of those? But it's
you got to imagine. It's like a hurricane of like freaking things coming at you. It's like there's no way you can account for all those like objects, which is why he's just deflecting crap. I mean, look, my boy's gone to Super Saiyan. That's all I'm saying. Kel, Super Saiyan. Like did the yell cool, and his hair got longer and blonde.
Yes.
And blonde,
yes. Tara points out, yes, she is reflecting on what Condra means in the chapter. Condra? Question mark?
Right, that's right. Yeah.
I'm
hearing it.
But yeah, so then Kel gets pounds the steel eyes, the spikes back into
the
wood of the cart.
Like,
and then decapitates the Inquisitor.
Now I thought it was gonna be I'll be honest, I thought this was gonna be like the Oberyn Martell sequence in Game of Thrones. Spoiler warning, by the way. Where he was like, standing over my boy, and he was like, I got you down, and then it's like he turns around, like spike in the foot, pokes at his eyes. So I thought this was going to be a moment where the Inquisitor was going to be able to turn it around on Kel, because Kel was kind of talking a bit at him in this moment. He was kind of being a little braggadocious right here. But no, he does the deed. He does the deed. Well done, Kel. Yeah.
And then the crowd starts to cheer for Kel.
Just takes his own axe.
It takes his own axe, decapitates him. The whole crowd starts to cheer for him or whatever. And then all of a sudden they get hit with a massive wave of soothing.
Oh, they get like 20 seconds of happiness.
And Vin knows right away what it is, but the Lord Ruler has arrived. And Vin's terrified for Kel at this point. And Stacey said, "This is it. This is what we're waiting for." And the Lord Ruler actually gets out of the carriage, where before we'd never actually seen him. And Vin's surprised by how he looks. He's just a man, a young man, not even that old.
Good looking young dude.
A group of ska charge him immediately, plunge 2 spears into him, and he just ignores them. Like,
and they're like yelling about, "Oh, you killed my blah blah blah," and like like all like, oh, I'm the dude.
But
I don't know
he
why. And by the
ignores
way,
2 spears through him. Like doesn't even care. Like
Like, it
he's
doesn't-
walking. Like doesn't even
he
bother.
didn't even
him.
feel it. Doesn't even impact his motion. He continues to move as if nothing happened to him.
Yeah.
He just like keeps moving forward.
Yep. Like nothing. Like a fly.
It's like one spear.
something.
It was one through the chest like this way, and then one
Yeah.
came from the back. I think it
Yeah.
was.
They're through.
Yeah.
They're through
Right.
him, and he didn't even.
And like through his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't even care. He just keeps
Wow.
walking.
And keeps walking. Yeah.
Like nothing
Meanwhile, the
happens.
Inquisitors behind him just like
Take him
slashing
out.
those people.
Yeah, slash out the rebels.
Oh yeah, just
like, nothing,
just killing people. Yep.
And the Lord Ruler walks up to Kel and just stops in front of him, like the spear jutting out of him, touching Kel, and just stands right in front of him, and is super annoyed. He's like, "I've already killed you once, boy. I've already killed you." And Kel responds back saying, "You tried, but you can't kill me. You've never been able to kill what I am. I am hope." And then the Lord Ruler snorts and
Oh, wow.
I knew you were going
For
there.
anyone listening, he played the GIF of.
He played the Chris Rock Will Smith gif from the Oscars last year.
Last year of Will Smith slapping.
The slap heard around the world.
Yeah, and Vin hears the crack. Then casually backhands Kelsier, crushing his skull. And then takes one of the spears out and plunges it into Kel.
Boom, just like that.
Yeah. And then just walks away. He's like, "Yep, we're done here."
Yep.
Vin then runs over to Kel. Half his head is pretty much missing. It's just gone from the slap.
Just gone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gone. I mean, he's
He
dead.
still has this
Has
and
a
he has
smirk.
a-
Yeah.
half smile smirk thing going on.
Yeah.
I'm like, that sounds like Cal. That sounds like Cal.
Yeah. And then Ham comes up behind Vin, grabs her, tows her away. And as she's being pulled away, pretty much in tear, you hear Reem's voice in her head saying, "I told you he'd leave you."
Mm.
And that's how we end this chapter.
I was good with the writing. I did not like the I am the hope thing, but it was a little cornball on that. But I was like,
Yeah.
all right. I get you. But he has been setting it up the whole time. He's created this like idea amongst the ska that hope is possible. You can overcome this.
You can't defeat hope.
Yeah. I thought the Kel versus the Lord Ruler thing was gonna be like, Neo versus Agent Smith. Nope. Nothing like that. It's basically like it was a one-sided fight. He had no shot.
It wasn't much of a fight. It was a one
just
smack. And it was
done.
That was just a dump of Sanderland snow on my head. Just like there's no fight.
Yep.
He's gonna just poke him with a spear and that's it.
Yeah.
Kel's gone.
Yeah. Which I mean, and I get the setup, but I mean, at that moment, I'm like, why wouldn't you just run? Because at this point in time, we know this whole 11th metal thing
Arrogance.
got to be a fable.
Cavalier arrogance. Kel's always had it. It's always been his thorn in his side.
Which is why I predicted this early on in the book. I said, he's going to die. He's too cavalier for his own good.
Now, do you think this was part of Kel's plan?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I think it was always his plan to die.
Okay.
But I also think his plan was to have as much impact on the ska as possible.
Okay.
So that way they would be open to the idea of a organized rebellion.
Yeah.
Because
like
again, they have the
martyr. He wanted to be a martyr.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you guys think this had to happen for Vin to kind of like come into her own? Like in death there's rebirth kind of thing? I mean,
good allegory.
I don't know.
I think
I was
like an Obi-Wan Kenobi,
ahead,
Luke Skywalker kind of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like Obi-Wan Kenobi had to die so that way Luke Skywalker could have more faith in himself.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Gotta die so Obi-Wan had more faith. It's a common theme in
there you go,
Star
another
Wars.
one. Yeah. Yep. That's possible. I think maybe onto something there, Will.
I don't know, man.
I mean, again,
Oh.
I was more upset about Marsh dying than I was about Kel dying because I felt like Kel was going to always look. I always had
you
him pegged.
did that early on that Kel's gonna die, which
Yeah,
was
but
surprising.
Marsh,
It was like Kel expected
man, I was hoping Marsh was going to make
Did you
it.
think that Kel's gonna go this way? Is this how you thought Kel was gonna go? Like,
I thought Kel was going to go earlier on one of his raids, and then what
Okay.
was going to happen is I thought that the band would have to reconfigure themselves, try to figure out who is going to be a leader, and then they would realize that Vin has strategy. Her ability to strategize was going to be like something that would come to light, and that they would, kind of group around her and what she was doing. I didn't think it was going to make it this far. So good for him on that.
First time reading, I kept helping Kel. We used 11th metal right up until he died.
I think that if he had the 11th metal, even if it was a small amount, I think he would have used a little bit of it by
Where
now.
do we go from here? What do you guys have predictions or thoughts about like how this? I mean, we only have a few pages left, but like, what's? I mean,
Well, I know.
Sazed.
Yes, Sazed comes up. All right, so he actually has a magic toenail.
Mic drop.
All right, so he uses his magic toenail. He goes,
magic toenail.
The last time we saw Sazed, he was stirring some soup. What's going to happen? That's a hot ass pot of soup. He's going to come out, slosh that shit across. Everybody's going to die.
How do you
that's
think
a hot gumbo?
How do you think the Lord Ruler can be defeated? Or can the Lord Ruler actually be defeated?
Hot soup.
There's something about getting them 2 spears through the chest and him not even like stopping walking. He didn't even pay those 2 Scott any attention, by the way. They came up and they were like, "Oh, my blah 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 got killed. And I'm gonna stab you in the face." And he was like, just kept moving. He just didn't even care. He didn't even care. He's like, it was a hashtag cool story bros situation, and he just kept on moving through it. And I'm like, what can you do in this moment? I mean, I don't know how you take him down.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest and say maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago, I might have believed they could maybe take him down by the end of this book because it's called The Final Empire.
Yeah.
After this, I'm like, no, this guy ain't going down easy. I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen by the end of this book. If it happens by the end of this book, this gonna be a crazy Sandra Lanch of information. But I think it's gonna be too much new information to be introduced, and I don't think it's too easy to say there's gonna be like a super MacGuffin that's gonna drop in and be the answer to everything to kill this Lord Ruler. And I feel like Sanderson's way too smart for that.
Yeah.
He's too smart for that. So I think it's not going to happen in this book. I think they will reband and regroup, and they will try to figure out what they're going to do for next books. But I don't think Lord Ruler's going down. No.
As Zul says, in the classic hero's journey, killing off a mentor, i.e. Gandalf character, is important to the hero's character development. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So if you follow the hero's journey, which I can't remember who wrote that, but there's a there's a I think it's a professor somewhere literary who mapped out this whole thing about the hero's journey and how a lot of stories we tell follow the hero's journey.
The hero's journey. Yeah.
But that's a classic part.
So all right. Let me take a stab here. So we don't know much about ATM at this point, right?
No, we don't. I mean, I do, but you guys don't.
All right. So my question is, and this just came to me. All right, it's coming in like a waterfall right now, so bear with me. What happens when you flare ATM? Like ATM is a very scarce, valuable resource. The only person who has like the most access to it, I don't want to say surplus, but maybe it's a surplus, we don't know, is the Lord Ruler. Is I don't know what the 11th metal is, but he's got atium. We know atium. He has atium. What happens when you flare it? Has he flared it to the point where like he can see far into the future? To the point where but the whole like he's getting stabbed with the spear, like how do you explain that? Like is he flaring so much into the future that like he's creating a hologram of himself to where he's not actually getting stabbed? I don't know. That's where my head went. I have no clue. Like, how is this guy walking through the streets getting stabbed? But is he going to be able to be taken down? Doesn't really look like it at this point. Not looking good for Team Vin now.
It will make sense how he's getting stabbed and not carrying by the end of the book. I'll tell you that much.
Joseph Campbell, yes, thank you.
Joseph Campbell. Okay, yeah, he wrote that.
Is that the Hero's Journey?
Hero's Journey, yeah.
Yeah. He wrote all the hero books. He's into the mythology, all the hero stories.
Okay, because I mean, I know the concept has been. I've read a few books by Carl Jung, and I know that even he's talked about the hero's journey is a psychosomatic syndrome. That
it's a constant in storytelling. But yeah,
yep, that little circle. Yep. I think that you've hit on some really good points, Will. I especially the fact it's like, how in the world has this occurred that this character has gotten so built up to an immeasurable point that you cannot take him out in any way, shape, or form? Because right now he looks like he's an insurmountable force that has to be dealt with.
And he's lived for 1,000 years. I mean,
in 1,000 years,
technically, like as Zul said. So is he immortal? Like,
well,
is he really? I mean, they all think he's a god. I mean, is he really just a god?
Yeah. Well,
what happened at the Well of Ascension?
Yeah. What did happen? It's a good question.
We know nothing. There's a cavern somewhere. All kinds of stuff was going on.
The day before they got there,
what was the darkness
in the logbook?
None of this stuff. Yeah.
What was in that water?
What was in the water?
There's some hard water.
Yeah, man.
A lot of metal up in that shit.
Right. It's like egg water from Florida. So basically, just you don't want to drink it, but if you do, you become the Lord Ruler.
Egg water. What is egg water?
So in Florida, it's a common thing that they actually have
sulfur,
two water sources, and so there's like a drinking water source, and then there's another hose that they have, which is, we call it egg water because it smells like
sulfur, rotten eggs,
like
sulfur,
just sulfur. Nasty. Yeah, you only use it to water your yard. That's all it was for. You don't drink from it. You don't feel that that's so funny. You don't put that stuff on your lips. But yes, egg water. Going back to my youth.
That's funny.
Anyway, so my favorite character of the book, even though he didn't even these chapters, even though he didn't say anything, Marsh, R.I.P. I mean, I would pour some of this Glenfiddich out for him, but I can't. It's too nice.
Yeah.
Favorite character for me?
Yeah. So you said Marsh?
For me, yes, Marsh. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, Alan. Do you have one
from these chapters? I mean, I from these chapters, I got to give it to Kel. Pour one out for him.
Also deserves a pour out. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't normally give anything for Kel, but yeah.
Yo, he went out like a boss, though.
He did. You can't kill me. I'm a hope.
Oh, and by the way, he was choking that. He was choking that Inquisitor too. I was like, oh, that's possible.
I'm about to say Ham.
Ham?
Ham.
Ham. Yeah, he did.
That was nice the cavalry.
Yeah, man.
I was gonna say reinforcements for just jump in there like stop.
Where's my girl?
Yep. Oh my
Ellen,
God,
what are you doing?
Ellen. Oh, jeez.
Dude, just walk away.
He's in the middle of a battle. Where's my girl? Oh, please, dude.
Dude, yeah, we got bigger things going on here. It's we got big boy stuff going on. It's you know,
he's over there trying to fight in his underoos.
I remember having that conversation with a kid.
Okay, so Zool knows about egg water.
Yeah.
There you go, Zool. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right.
But yeah, I had a conversation with a kid one time. Actually, the place I proposed to my wife at, it was a spot that I picked out that I wanted to do the whole proposal thing at, and I get down there before and told my wife to meet me down there because I was planning on popping the question. Mm-hmm. And when I show up, there's balloons all over the place, and this is a place that I've never seen anyone else there ever. Like, it's pretty secluded. Mm-hmm. And there's this teenager kid is there, like, putting balloons up everywhere. And I was just like, what's going on? He's like, dude, I'm about to ask my girl to prom. And I was like, when are you planning on doing that? He's like, I'm talking this like high score kid. I was like, because I got big boy stuff to do here. Like I know prom's really important to you right now, but like what I'm about to do is a lot more important than that. Like I'm not trying to discount prom, but like I've been there too, and prom's not that important. Like
you don't need balloons. It's really not that necessary.
It's really not that big deal.
Ask
really.
By the way, if we could please stop the videos and stuff about these elaborate prom.
Could you leave the balloons though? Because they're a nice touch.
Nice touch. When I'm about to ask a woman to be my partner for the rest of my life, sure.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You're talking about one night. I'm talking about one life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But people put out these like elaborate things to ask one girl to prom. I mean, or even a girl asking a guy to prom, doing these elaborate things. I'm like, it's one evening. And it's a dance. At the end of the day, it's a dance. Come on.
But I guess
statistically, that's not the person you're going to end up with. Statistically,
no.
It's really against it. I think I know one couple that like high school sweethearts. They're still together. Out of everyone I know.
Congratulations
to
them.
Couple. Yeah. But
yeah, I don't know.
I know one. But that's it.
Shoot. Yeah, I don't know.
That's it. One couple.
That's one. Nope.
Yeah. So kids, if you're listening to this, if you're in high school, listen to our podcast. It's a fun night. Don't get me wrong. Make the most of it. She ain't the one.
Yes. But the main thing is have fun with your friends. Don't worry so much about the person you went with. I mean, have fun with them, obviously, but
have a good night.
Relish the time you have with all the friends that you're hanging out with, because
it's not about the night, it's about the friends you met along the way. All right, so
absolutely, yep.
It's just another dance with a fancy term. Just go have a good time. Just go have fun.
Right, and don't drink and drive.
Innkeeper Hatch is married to a high school sweetheart. Okay, cool. I did not know that.
Who has?
Innkeeper Hatch, Matt Hatch, who runs Dusty Wheel for Wheel of Time.
Oh, nice! Okay. Congratulations. Yeah, you don't meet many of those nowadays. So,
as a teenager, prom is your whole world, though. It's true. Yeah, as a teenager. True. Yeah, but
yeah. And when you're an underclassman, you want to go to prom. You like hope somebody asks you. Blah blah blah.
Yeah. All that good stuff. So next time, as in tomorrow, we'll be finishing this book, The Final Empire. We're going to read all the way through the epilogue to the very end of all of it. So come back.
3 chapters and an epilogue, right?
It's 4 chapters and epilogue, I think.
Okay, gotcha. Right.
But it's around the same size. Actually, I can tell you.
Right.
So like, this is how geeky my spreadsheets are. So like what we read. So it's gonna be girthy. It's a lot to read. This is the longest.
50 pages, 60 pages.
It's around 50 pages.
Okay. That's really short. Oh, man. Yeah.
But it's juicy.
Well, we've been doing like between 30 and 40 pages a week. So this is a little bit longer, but not like.
It's fine. But this will go by quick because it's
a center length.
I think this is a good idea. Should we just do a live read right now?
What?
That's a lot of
live read right now.
That's if you guys are up to stay up that late. I mean,
Lord have mercy.
I'm happy to end right now and do it, but I mean, I can set it up and we can do
We
that.
put the
but,
audio book on, running at like 1.5 times speed.
yeah, I can do it. It's just it's gonna be how long will hold on. Let me look and see how long that would be. Give me 1 second.
I would say not do that because there's probably
Alonso
like
needs to sleep.
copyright issues. There's gonna be some copyright issues.
No,
and
I
blah,
can do
blah,
it.
blah.
Well, yeah, it'll be proper.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
If I do it live, never mind. Yeah, though I do for Patreons, but I don't do this. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, you might want to be careful about that.
Thank you for putting me there. Yeah, you can't play the audiobook live.
Hey, but look,
YouTube.
maybe at some point in time we could do that with like one chapter.
I do that for Patreons, and we do it private videos, not long
public, like widely broadcast.
Yeah, if you do it, let's see. Let's go look and see. So it would be an audiobook at 1.5 speed, around an hour and a half.
Oh wow!
Okay. At 1.5 speed.
Yeah,
that's why I like those. Asking questions like that.
We're just gonna pick it up. We're gonna pick it up
one
tomorrow.
Speed, it would be about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Right, I was gonna say like 2.5 hours or something like that at one
at normal speed.
Yeah, so we'll just catch up with everybody tomorrow. It'll be fun.
Yeah, same time tomorrow.
Same time tomorrow. They're gonna have to race. They had to race through and read through the rest of this book just tomorrow. So
there you go.
But it's a fast read because it is everything.
I'm sure it's jam packed. I am sure it is.
It is. It's Cinderlanch. It's it's fun.
Good.
So I'll read it with you tonight, Will.
Oh, nice, Tara. That's like that's the sweetest damn thing. And by the way, I love that kind of syrupy sweetness. Love it.
Anytime she just knows when I get into bed tonight, I'm gonna start
1.5 is too fast. 1.5 is not too fast.
1.25 is like my sweet spot because sometimes I have a tendency to be trying to multitasking, and so I can still kind of listen to it and do other things.
I read
1.5 is not too fast if you're focused on just the book.
Yeah, I read all my books at 1.5.
Yeah, I agree. 1.5 is perfect if you're just doing that.
Hold on. So if I'm pulling up Audible, what is the standard?
Like 1.
It's just normal.
1. It's normal.
Okay, this is a game changer. No wonder I can't fucking focus.
Yeah, 1.5.
Yeah, so because like when I listen to all my Robert Jordan stuff, it's always 1.5. But usually I'm in the car.
Dude.
So when I'm in the car, I don't really
What's
care.
Will discovering right now?
Oh man, mind blown. He just had a mind.
I try. I'll put it on sometimes on the way into work and shit, and it's hard. But it's at 1. It's at 1. If I put it at 1.5, that's what I need.
And what you want is you want it fast enough. It still sounds like normal voices and not like chipmunks talking to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So 1.5
and 1.5 is that.
Spot. It's a sweet spot.
Yeah, 1.5 is not chipmunky, but it gets information into your head.
Because I'm a speed reader. I love reading quickly, and I feel like it's like I can please go quicker than this.
Iris said 2x. Kid watches at 2x. I don't know how. Yeah, I don't know either. Chris does that like 2 and 3x. He'll do that and like read. And he'll listen to stuff at like 2 and 3x. And I'm like, I don't understand how
that. Again, that's if
like
you're
at that point it's just
asking.
I don't understand how
you got to be solely focused on just that book, nothing else.
Yeah.
You can like comprehend everything that's happening, but if you're like doing anything else, like if I'm cooking, there's no way I can cook and listen to a book at 3x.
So it also depends on the reader too. Like so, Michael Kramer, I can do at 1.5. Kate Redding, who does not read the Mistborn books but does read the Stormlight and Wheel of Time books, I actually need to listen to her a little slower because she has a faster cadence. Michael Kramer's extremely slow and methodical in his reading, so I can speed him up a lot more. So it actually depends on who's reading it. Like I found other audiobooks too, and then other readers. It depends on who the voice person is and how their cadence is. Because there's some books that I cannot read that. I cannot comprehend what they're saying when they're going that fast. Other people. So I guess it just depends. I'm so used to Michael Kramer between Wheel of Time and this that 1.5 is just my go-to for him.
Right.
But yeah.
Again, if I'm in the car, 1.5, no problem, because I'm just like mindlessly driving. But if I'm like sitting at the house and doing other stuff, 1.25 is about my maximum.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm still rewinding. Like I'm sitting here rewinding on the headphones constantly. So
Yeah. I hear you. Well, how
holy
we can
cow, 909 pages? How in the hell did you get through a book? I'm sorry, I'm reading these comments. 909 pages in one day? Are you kidding me? You didn't sleep. You did not sleep. There's no way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the last battle on the Wheel of Time, the last book, the Memory Light, last battle is actually that one chapter, chapter 37, I think it is. The Memory Light is longer. That one chapter is longer than the first Harry Potter book.
Oh, yeah.
Read it 1 time speed on Audible. It's an 8-hour chapter.
Yeah, it's a long book. So, yeah. But there's a lot to cover, though, too. I mean, there's a lot of things that got to wrap up. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, there's one chapter over 9 hours. Yeah, I guess it's over 9 hours. There you go. So, yeah, it's a long chapter. It's basically one chapter that's as long as the entire book.
41. God. 41 hours.
It's not even the longest book I've written. So Brandon Sanderson's the longest book I've written. How long is Rhythm of War? Does anybody have that right now? That's the longest Brandon Sanderson book out there. Anyone know on top of your head before I go look it up myself? Because I have it somewhere. Let's go. Rhythm of War. Rhythm of War.
Oh, the day it came out. Okay, Pythos, that makes sense. Sorry. Yeah. Because I've done that with the Harry Potter books.
Yeah, so Rhythm of War, book 4, the Stormlight Archive, is 57 hours and 26 minutes.
Yeah, see, this I can get behind because
it's a long book.
We've also got to remember the context, though, too. It's like when you're reading something that has just gotten released and it's part of a series you're already like passionate about and already into. Absolutely, because I mean, look,
once you get the Stormlight, you're already into the Cosmere. We don't start with Stormlight. We'll get there, but you're in it.
You're in, and you're just at that point in time, the adrenaline is got you going. Yeah, so I get that.
At that point, it's all about the journey, not the destination.
Absolutely. So again, I'm glad you guys, you're talking about, the fact that these, like, you were reading these on release day. It puts it back in the perspective of, because we're not reading a book on release day, obviously. So for us, it's a different situation. But when something just came out, number one, you want to try and make sure you get to the book as quickly as possible so that way it doesn't get spoiled for you. But number two, you have this anticipation and you're like, oh my God, I cannot wait to find out what happens. Yeah, that kind of thing. So makes all the sense.
Yeah. Well, how we can be found is at thecosmereads.com. Go check out our website. You can find links to all sorts of fun things like our merchandise, which will have new t-shirts coming soon since our graphic designer gets Stink up and going. But we're going to get more as time goes on, I'm sure. But yeah, so go check that out. Find links to Discord from there. Join a Discord server. Come chat with us there. Also, that's the best place to get announcements. So like if you want to know when we're recording or if we make changes, Discord. I always post to there. Follow us on social medias. Support us on Patreon. I cannot express that enough. We do giveaways. Like I said, we just did another giveaway on Twitter. We'll be doing more in a couple of days. But the Patreon is the way to support that and let us keep on doing that. The more patrons I have, the more I can do more of those things like giveaways, whether it's books or merch or whatever. But unless we're getting money in, that makes it really tough because I have to pull it from other sources, and I don't want to pull it from the Will Reads because they have their own budget and their own giveaways and their own things. So, I don't want to pull it from personal budget because my wife will kill me. So, support this podcast here.
She's feisty. Let's not put her in that situation.
No, I don't want to pull from personal finances for things like giveaways. Support us. There is a cost to do all this. Just admin type stuff. But follow us, support us, love us, like us, review us, all the good things, and we'll see you guys next time. So
Scotch thank fresh.
And